What up with y'all, man? It's the Mental Ninja. Chilling out, man. Jumping on this little video shit. Talk about some shit, right? You know? I think tonight, it's been like, I've been thinking about it all day, man. Like, it's like no secret when I be in Bro Sanchez chat and then through my other videos, you hear me drop the word or the name Ordo, Templi, Orientis, or OTO. So I think today I want to talk about secret societies. And it's maybe like I may do a little couple videos about this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? The purpose of the video is just to like to give my experience. You know what I'm saying? To share what I've learned, and hopefully I can help. Someone else who may be on the path or may be considering it or may have questions or may have prejudices that they may need to hear somebody who's actually really in an order, really in a secret society, to help them through it. Or just like for people who want to like learn, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm here for, man. I'm not here for no fucking bullshit, right? So first off, I'm just gonna say that, I'm just gonna talk about secret. This one I'm just talk about really like just secret societies in general, and are they good or are they bad? Are they good or are they evil? And I'm also say this right now that yeah, they're both, and it's not the society itself that's good or evil. I believe it's the people within these societies that can be either good or either evil. And the thing is about that, it doesn't really matter if you're in a secret society or not, because when you're born in this world, you're gonna really realize that there's people that are good and there's people that are bad, evil, whatever you want, whatever evil. And I don't think, like I'm gonna say this right now, I don't think anything in nature is inherently good or evil. Like this lighter, right, is not inherently evil and shit, but you can do some fucking evil shit with it. You can also do some good with it. Of course, the Vegas Golden Knights, some people, like the San Jose Shark fans, might think that's an evil fucking team or something because we be whooping y'all asses and shit, you know what I'm saying? But in the end, it's just a lighter. In the end, they're just a hockey team, full of players that, they want to win. However, in this game of life, some people are willing to go the hard way and take losses and strive to win honestly, and then some people are just really more focused on how fast can they get what they're trying to get, and they'll use any means necessary to get it. And a lot of those means may it may not encourage, but they may just be doing some fucked up shit to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like when we talk about secret societies, now I'm just gonna try to bring this into perspective, all right? Because yeah, being in the flat earth community and shit, one of the number one things that you end up hearing repeated, is that it's a Masonic agenda, it's a secret society agenda, all the NASA fucking astronaut niggas, they were all in secret societies, and then like, okay, cool. I mean, I'm not a Mason, so I can either prove or, disprove if they're in a secret, if they're Masons or not. But I'm sure like Masonry, they kind of keep like a log or whatever of the men and the men that's in their order and shit for the most part. The order that I'm in, we do not keep verifiable public list of all the initiates or members of the order, and that's solely because some of the members, a lot of the members, or there are members that just choose to remain anonymous for the reason that because like people have fucking perverse and warped thought processes about certain things that they just don't understand or don't want to understand, and when they stay polarized and like it's just evil, it's just bad, you know what I'm saying? And god damn. So yeah, are secret societies good or evil? Like I said, it's both, man. There's people in the societies that are doing good things. There's people in the societies doing bad things and stuff, and who am I to say what's good and what's bad for somebody else and shit? But I'm sure we can all agree for our own experience what we feel is good or bad. But the next man might not feel the same way as I do. For them, drinking is good. For me, drinking is bad. For a while, it was good, but then it stopped being good, and it became a problem. And I was stuck in that problem until something changed, and now not drinking is good and drinking is bad. So, I always go back to that because that's like my experience. It's the best way I can communicate. and relate things, not the best way, but one of the good, better ways I can, So like, yeah, this Masonic conspiracy, the Illuminati, of course, like the first time I ever heard about the Illuminati was like Prodigy in the song, Who Shot You? He was like, Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Secret societies trying to put their eye on me or something like that. And from there, it's become like, even before that, secret society has always been like demonized in a sense by certain members of the public or certain groups of the public or certain thought processes of the public or the society as a whole, But does that mean that it was good? Does that mean that it was bad? Because obviously they're still around. And, this is kind of fucked up is that I think we get a lot of the all is all evil thing because of Christian church, the Christian religion, like loves to demonize shit. They love it. They actually, I feel sometimes more they live more demonized than to actually do good. Demonize and get money off of fucking faith and shit, you know what I'm saying? So like, you can ask, some people think Christianity is evil. Of course, a Muslim might say that, but then a Christian might say a Muslim is evil and stuff. And both of them will say their faith is the best faith and it's the way, So that's what I'm talking about, You find Masons or people in secret societies that'll say like me, yeah, they are good. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'll say this. I do good in it. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for everybody else. And me being in the Ordo Templi Orientis, I'm going to say this first, is like my thoughts and my opinion does not reflect the opinion of Ordo Templi Orientis as a whole. I am one member of the order speaking from from my perspective and stuff. Another member may not share what I say as their truth, okay? And I think it's important, I'm pretty sure some people that may watch this video might be like, see, look, there he goes. He's not speaking for Ordo Templi because it's evil and evil, blah, blah. If that's what you want to think, man, I don't even think that has Ordo Templi Orientis has to have you think that. I think that's you think that because that's what you want to think. That's where your mind is polarized by the mere mention of a secret society. And I understand, like we see like the all-seeing eye, and that's the evil symbol. And it's like, I don't even really get how it's evil. I remember I used to think that too because it was taught that to me, or it was shown to me. And I watched a lot of not evidence, but what's the best way? There's a lot of presentation about the evilness of it, when really it's like, that's like saying the Golden State Warriors symbol is evil and shit. It's like saying the NWA or the NBA symbol is evil and shit just because you like baseball more. You know what I'm saying? When we polarize ourselves that way. So no, I don't think the all-seeing eye is evil. I do think it has a deeper hidden meaning. And I think it's up to the person who really wants to know to figure that out. If you don't want to know, make sure you keep it evil so you don't fucking ever have to fucking want to find out. I'm gonna keep it simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll put it in my own shoes. Alcoholics Anonymous, like, I don't want to fucking get sober. At the time, I didn't want to get sober. I don't want nothing to do with hearing people talking about, oh, you need to stop drinking, your life's unmanageable, blah, blah, blah. So to me, that shit was fucking horse shit. You know what I'm saying? It was bullshit. It was against what I wanted, which is to get loaded and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, we kind of, I feel that mankind has the ability to act in that same thought process, and I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? But like, really, I know that a lot of people that watch my videos, when they hear me talk about Ordo Templi Orientis and that I'm in a secret society, I wonder, because I don't like know him physically and shit, hang out with him and stuff. I wonder if they ever ask themselves like, is he up to something and shit? Because I do my best to kick some good knowledge. I could do my best to share my thoughts and my feels, you know what I'm saying, and can try to communicate something that's healthy. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I'll be talking shit too, nigga, straight up. I'll go up against a nigga and be going back and forth and talking shit, you know what I'm saying, and arguing a nigga and shit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still human, and I'm not saying like that when I do that means like that's the evil in me. That's just I'm a human, I ain't gonna always be fucking like, fucking farting fucking, saying pixie dust and shit or some crazy ass shit and skipping up fucking Jesus burps to heaven and shit to sunshine and shit. I'm a human, man. I'm fallible. I'll fucking make a mistake. I have an option of apologizing and correcting that mistake if I'm able to. You know what I'm saying? But like going back to this OTO shit, so Ordo Templi Orientis, it means Order of the Eastern Templars, or Order of the Temple of the East, or Order of the Oriental Templars, okay? And it is a secret society. And if you look up secret societies on YouTube, we're fucking one of the most fucking demonized. I think we are the most, next to like Skull and Bones and the actual Illuminati and stuff. Maybe like Bohemian Grove and the Bilderberg Group and the Charlotte Commission and stuff. Which I'm not into politics. I don't know about those groups and shit. The Bilderbergs. I'm not a rich politician. You know what I'm saying? The Charlotte Commission. I'm not a rich politician and stuff. I think it takes a certain mindset to be a politician and stuff. You know, which for me, I don't feel like I might have it, but I don't feel like that's where my calling is. I don't feel like that's where it will be a maximum use of my intellect and my wisdom or my capabilities and stuff, you know. So I'm gonna strictly pretty much talk about I'm not a Freemason. You know, I'll give a little bit of history on the OTO and like, you know, my experience in it. And really, like I said, it's just to give information. You know what I'm saying? And no, I'm not going to reveal any of the OTO secrets. I'm not going to reveal anything that happens in initiation or anything that happens in none of the nature of the oaths and shit, you know what I'm saying? And if you hear me say that, and you're like, oh, see, that's because it's evil. No, nigga, it's because I took an oath, man, and it's a promise, and I should, as a man, my word is good as my bond and shit. And I think it's important that I fucking observe certain things. Like if my friend tells me, hey man, if I tell you something, can you not tell nobody? And I'm like, yeah, no matter what it is, I should be able to keep that secret for that person and shit, you know, because that's honor right there. That shows integrity. If I get hired at a job and like, hey man, can you show up to work tomorrow at 8 o'clock and work till 5 or 9 to 5, and we need you to work 40 hours a week from 9 to 5 and take a break at a certain time, and like that's why we're hiring you to fulfill this position and to meet these requirements. And I'm like, if I say yeah and I don't, then they're gonna look at me like, bro, we thought we had agreement. We thought that we could trust you with, you know, our industry or our product and stuff, and trust you with this post that you would man it until the time that you were supposed to go home and fulfill your obligation and stuff. So that's why I look at the oath like that, you know what I'm saying? And if you're gonna look at it, well, it's an oath because it's evil and shit, and if that's all you got is just because, then be you damn for a dog, nigga. That's the Lima concept, you know what I'm saying? Because like, and I just said because, you know, it's important to know that when you take an oath, when you decide to join a secret society, that means hopefully you've done some research into the society, the order that you're joining, and hopefully you've met with the people that's in that order, and hopefully you've come to, you know, meet and greet and talk with some of them, and hopefully you've got the chance to feel them out and feel the other people that's in that order that you'll be, you know, bonded with forever. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like in the same way, like you're bonding with your family and shit. I know everybody doesn't have the perfect family, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of the same type of thing. And no, it's not evil. Evil's only evil if you do that shit. Simple. Good is only good if you do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said about the lighter, man. You could fucking be holding a lighter all fucking day and not do shit with it. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is stranded in the motherfucking forest and shit, and they trying to start a fire to keep themselves warm. You got a lighter in your pocket. You ain't doing shit with it. Nigga, that'd be close to fucking bad than good. But you like, oh, I got this lighter, let's use it. You know what I'm saying? Let's save some of it so in case we do not have another fire and shit, you know what I'm saying? Or on the other side, you know, you gonna light your friend's tent on fire because you guys had an argument. It's just really just a lighter, but it's the person that does good or bad. You know what I'm saying? That's simple. That's like fucking logical right there. That's like common sense. You know, but like if you're gonna base your logic on a faith, on a belief that's dogmatic and superstitious, that has a requirement for you to hate certain individuals, then you should rethink that faith, man. You should not rethink the faith, rethink your fucking self in it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're part of something that promotes, you know, anger and hatred and shit, and for you to carry this plan or plot out on other people that do not agree with you, I don't think that's good at all. I don't think that's fucking favorable. I don't think that's positive. I don't think that's encouraging. If other people have to bend to your personal fucking will, your personal beliefs, your personal opinions, it should be enough that you do it yourself. That should be the only requirement. Like for my oath, the only requirement is for me to keep it. If another member of the order breaks it, that has nothing to do with me. That's them. And they're going to feel whatever fucking consequence that they drum up with that shit. And I'm not saying like you're going to be fucking hit with like flying rocks and shit or fucking burn. I'm not saying nothing but that if a person makes an agreement and breaks it, they're going to feel, if they have the capabilities to, they're going to feel fucking shitty. Like, nigga, you got dirt on your face, man. You like fucking, we gave you this package and you fucked it up. Like, we don't want to trust you, and now you have to feel the ramification that people don't want to trust in you. People don't want to depend on you. People don't see you as responsible or accountable. That's what the nature of the oath really means. Is accountability, is being responsible, is holding something that you say that you're willing to take to your grave and shit. And I think that's an important fact to know. It's an important thing that every human should have. Is something like, you know what, like for me, I'm gonna stay sober until it kills me or until I die. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather die sober than die drunk, straight up. Straight the fuck up. I know what happens if I pick up a drink. It's like I'm breaking my oath not to drink, and I know where my life goes. I don't want that. So I'm gonna keep my fucking oath close. You know what I'm saying? So Ordo Templi Orientis, like I said, Order of the Eastern Templars, or Order of the Temple of the East, or Order of the Oriental Templars. We are a magical order, okay? We are, goddamn. We're a magical order. We are a secret society, okay? And let's say, like, for shits and giggles, it's a system, it's a secret society that teaches wisdom through symbols, teaches its mysteries through symbols and like allegory and these ritual dramatizations, right? And it has these like levels of ritual dramatization where a certain secret, a certain symbol is revealed, and they're called initiations, okay? Now, if you want to, okay, so back to Ordo Templi Orientis. So yeah, we're a secret society. We're a magical order, which means we practice magic. And I'm not talking about fucking brewing shit in a big ass cauldron and casting spells on fucking motherfuckers and turning fucking bitches into fucking princesses and shit, and horses into carriages and shit, and pumpkins into carriages and shit. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about magic with a K. And we have a definition for it, and it's the science and art of causing change and conformity with will, which is a very powerful statement. It's, if you need to rewind it, I might say it again. Really think about what that really means, and try not to think, if you're able to, if you're open-minded enough, not to think that means some fucking hocus pocus foolery shit, you know what I'm saying? It means that, or it means some evil ass motherfucking shit that you see on Disney and shit, you know what I'm saying? Or fucking some cartoon or some movie from Hollywood and stuff. Think of it as an applicable science, okay? And I'll go into that soon, okay? After I do some more history and shit. So like, I'm gonna go off the top of the head with the history and shit, you know, because like, I'm sure there's many other people, brethren in my order that can give you the history like solid and shit. So I'm just give you like some pointers and stuff. So OTO was founded in the late 1800s, mid to late 1800s and shit, you know what I'm saying, by a group of German Freemasons. And so we do have our roots in Freemasonry. And basically what they wanted to do was they wanted to have a similar order, or a pendant body of Freemasonry in Germany in that era, that taught things that really weren't taught in the normal 3 degrees of the Blue Lodge of Masonry, of Freemasonry and shit. And these gentlemen were by the names, I'll give you 2 of them, so that's one I'm looking to remember right now, is Karl Kellner and Theodore Roos, and they were both Freemasons, and I think they're a member of other orders as well. So they decided to call it Academia Masonica, which means academic masonry, you know. So it would be an appended body. It was an appended body similar to like York Rite after the 3 degrees of the Blue Lodge in Freemasonry, and then the Scottish Rite, or the Knights Templar, or the fucking like, what's the other higher degrees in Masonry? Fucking Shriners and shit like that, you know. So basically, it's just further advancement and further, you know, understanding and conversation and education into these mysteries that they felt at that time was not taught in the traditional Blue Lodge Masonry. And I believe that one of the reasons they felt that way because they were members of other orders as well, and they thought that some of the things that were contained in the other orders were very valuable and should be taught within Masonry. But, you know, the other old heads in Masonry at that time in their area weren't really cool with that shit. So they created the Masonica, Academia Masonica, and it went well for a while, but then the other Masons, they're like, we don't like this shit, you know, because they want to stay traditional. They really weren't willing to like grow into another and learn new things, which kind of fucking sucks. It kind of defeats the purpose of Masonry at that point, if you ask me. So they disbanded from it and from Masonry and separated it and called it Ordo, Templi, Orientis, and they set up a whole secret society, fraternal order around it. And one thing that they wanted to do was they wanted to admit not only men but women. You know what I'm saying? I think that they felt that was very important, and that masonry was missing a lot by only having men in it. And I kind of agree. I think that it serves its purpose, but like, you know, when a husband joins and their wife can't join, it's kind of like you're keeping your wife in the dark and she can't really understand what you're doing. So like, yeah, you might be a better man and stuff, and you might be giving these suggestions, innuendos or whatever, and leading a better life. But like, what's the point if like your wife can't participate and learn what you're learning and experience that beauty, if that's what you found that makes you a better person, a better man? So they pretty much centered it around 3 degrees of masonry, but they added some things. So they added and this is over a period of time too, because other members joined. There's members from the Illuminati that joined. There's members from the Rosicrucians that joined and stuff, and other orders and stuff. And I guess what they found was it was healthy understanding. They were able to communicate with each other and build upon, and it worked really well. So eventually, you know, an individual by the name of Aleister Crowley, however you want to pronounce it, was contacted by one of the members of the OTO. I believe it was either Theodore Roos or Richard or Carl Kellner. Okay, and at the time, you know, of course, Aleister Crowley was a Freemason. I think he was a 33rd or 32nd degree Freemason at the time. And like, he was like, he catches on to the initiation so quick. Them niggas like bump him up quick, you know what I'm saying, to higher degrees, because he just knows so much. He soaks up so much information. And yeah, I know there's a lot of fucking bad shit about Aleister Crowley. Probably just as much there's probably just as much bad shit about Aleister Crowley there's about black people. And that might explain why women hold their purse and I walk past them thinking I'm gonna jack their shit, you know what I'm saying? Or lock their fucking car door like I'm gonna steal some shit, you know? That's not even women, but other people. So I can understand, you know, and of course Crowley didn't live the most, you know, normal life that most people would choose to live. He was a fucking mountaineer. I don't know too many niggas that like to climb mountains and shit, especially like today when we have all kind of nice little techniques and fucking technologies and fucking, you know, advanced fucking weather fucking gear and shit. We're talking like back in the fucking early 1900s, and all niggas had was like boots and a fucking heavy ass jacket and somebody fucking pitchfork or some shit, or some hammers and shit, whatever the fuck they use to climb mountains. But this nigga was climbing some of the biggest mountains in the world, like K2. I think he was the first person that is in modern history that we know in recorded time that was sent to the top of that mountain. And he was also a person who loved to travel. He's a trust fund baby. That means his dad, when he passed away, left him a shitload of money. Like, I guess it'll be millions today. So he was able to not have to work and go to school and do all this. Even though he did that shit, he excelled really well in school. He was able to travel freely as he wanted to because he really didn't have no need to stay at one site and work forever and shit, you know what I'm saying, just to make ends meet. He was well off. So he took that time to travel and pretty much build with other people from other philosophies, from other religions, from other next to the woods and shit, all throughout Eurasia and shit, and also into Africa and also into South America and America. So this man was a traveler. This man was a person who was not set with like cool, which is like learning one thing. He wanted to learn everything he could and stuff. And of course, like the way he grew up, you know, his parents were like the Plymouth Brethren, you know, it was like a really fucking hardcore Christian sect, and they were really fucking fundamentalists, like almost extremist fundamentalists and shit, where like they demonized the fuck out of everything and shit. On some Bobby Boucher mom from Waterboy, when like if Crowley came home was like, hey man, I ate a donut today, it was fucking delicious. Then like, oh, donut's the devil, you know, some shit like that. Or what was the bitch say? I learned about Benjamin Franklin. She was like, Benjamin Franklin didn't invent electricity. I invented electricity. Benjamin Franklin's the devil. That kind of mindset that really keeps people limited in the amount of work they're able to do, and the amount of learning they're able to do and stuff, you know, the amount of growth they're able to accomplish by having like walls, like big ass fucking, you know, make America great again, walls that keep things that you might want to know outside, you know what I'm saying, just calling it evil just to make yourself comfortable with not learning, Okay, so he had issues with his parents, with his dad, the way his dad was, and how his dad like alienated him and beat him and shit because he was like a horny little kid. His family, his dad caught him with a porno book and beat the fuck out of his ass and shit for being a curious kid that was attracted to women and shit. And and then he fucked his maid and shit like out of spite and shit. And so like and a lot of things about Christianity is like sexual expression really is demonized. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even talking about like the LGBTQ community, that kind of sexual expression. I'm talking about between a man and a woman, or just a man, masturbation and shit. That shit was hella demonized, like evil and shit. It was like this is natural this is natural human behavior. This is natural human processes and shit. Like, how can a motherfucker be evil because he gets attracted to a woman and gets a heart on his shit, and he's just he don't know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? So like, he really didn't like Christianity in the way that it was used over people. A lot of people, there's a lot of misconceptions that he hated Christianity and he hated Jesus and he hated God. But what he says from his own mouth is like, I never hated the God or Jesus of, I never hated God or Jesus. He says, I hated the God and Jesus of the people that I hated. And I'm like, I can fucking dig that. I understand what you're talking about with that shit. That paints a big picture. It's like saying like, I don't hate fucking Jesus and God. I just hate the way people fucking use them motherfuckers on me and to justify their behaviors and shit. So I think that he realized a lot of things within the Bible that his parents weren't realizing, and just bringing those conversations up, it was like, don't say that. You're not supposed to interpret that way. You're only supposed to interpret the way we're taught to interpret, and that's the only way. Otherwise, we'll die or go to hell or something. So he had a lot of issues growing up with the status quo of what faith was. And I don't myself think that's bad, because I know the flat earthers kind of have the same situation going on, where they feel like they don't like the narrative that's been presented, and what they're presented with a new narrative or an ulterior narrative that sounds very compelling. To pursue that, you risk being demonized, you risk being ostracized, you risk being outcasted by your fellows and looked at as like a fucking shill or somebody fucking crazy or that's lost their mind and shit. And really, you're fucking using your mind, and they're not, because they lost it. All right, so eventually, Richard Carl Kellner or Theodore Roos. So Aleister Crowley was also involved with the Golden Dawn, right? And he went up. And Golden Dawn is an old magical order. It's still around too. I think now it's the Hermetic Order, the Golden Dawn. They're like Hermeticists, like the Kabbalion type shit. And it's a secret society as well, that they contain the Hermetic fucking idealism within their order and shit. And that's kind of like, soccer is for soccer players and has soccer shit. Basketball's for basketball players, has basketball shit, and baseball. And then, you see where I'm going with that, right? So the Hermetic Golden Dawn is like a magical order of magicians and shit, And I guess that he was down with them and shit, and it was going really well for a while. But I guess he had a problem that they weren't letting him rise to degrees as fast as he wanted to. They had like these stipulations and these time constraints and stuff, and he felt like that it was to keep people like him, with a mindset like him, from ascending too quickly, from gaining too much not control, but too much influence or power within the order. And I believe that he believed that at that time, that the heads of the order, the higher degrees, were keeping it like that for a reason, because they were using that knowledge and controlling it so they can manipulate people for their own whims, or their own wants and wishes and shit, which is like negative. That is evil. That, to me, that's bad. You know what I'm saying? That's unfavorable. It's not fucking healthy. It's unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we get like, people who use this shit for their own gains and shit. And so, of course, Aleister Crowley had a big ass a fight with the niggas and shit, right? And he ended up they kicked him out. And he went and fucking spilled all their secrets, like, fuck y'all niggas. That he was on some shit. He pretty much, from my understanding, he fucking collapsed the order as a whole. And they had to come back as a Hermetic Golden Dawn later on. So there's like a fucking big rift between the OTO in modern times and the Hermetic Golden Dawn, which is funny. When we have like a beef, like blood and crypt type shit, kind of going back and shit for some members and shit, So, Aleister Crowley gets, does his thing, and he writes the Book of the Law and shit. He's channeled the Book of the Law and shit, saying he gets to write his books and shit. And eventually he writes a book called, I think it's the Book of Lies or 777 or whatever and shit. And in that book, he had written something that one day Carl Kellner or Theodore Roos had came to his house, and they knocked on his door, and they were like, "Hey, are you Aleister Crowley?" And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "Can I come in?" He's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm so and so. I need to talk to you." He's like, "About what?" He said, "Well, you published this book, right? And in your book, you revealed one of our high degree secrets of the ninth degree." And Crowley was like, "Nigga, I don't fucking what?" He's like, "Bro, I don't know no secret for the ninth degree because I'm not in the OTO, so I can't know the secret or whatever." You know what I'm saying? And he got defensive and shit because he was telling the truth. So the dude, goes over to the bookshelf, grabs the book, opens it up to that page, that chapter, and shows it to him. He's like, "This right here, this is it." And Crowley was like, "Oh shit, well, I guess I did." And he realized what the fuck he was talking about. And so at that point, they're like, "Look, we got to initiate you," which is kind of funny, and it's like one of the really only stories you'll hear really of somebody being sought out and initiated just based on their knowledge, which is kind of fucking cool, really. It's kind of like, damn, the nigga was really, really woke. When he was so woke, he'd even know how woke he was and shit, we're talking about being sleeping and being awake and shit. So he gets, put onto the ninth degree automatically, and he begins his process in the OTO from there. And of course, he rises pretty quick, and he's doing so much and being so much of service. They're like, "We like what you're doing." And, the other leader, the head of the order at the time was like, "Look, this is what I want to do. You're fucking doing amazing work. We want to give you a high position to where you're in leadership over all the English-speaking OTO countries and their lodges and shit, you know what I'm saying?" And he took that position, and what he did was he commenced to reorder the actual order and change things up. And what happened is he produced a system which what he did first was he instituted the law of Thelema, which is the book of the law, which is the book that he had channeled when he had fucked his chick, which is dope as fuck. I wish I could fuck my girlfriend in the main pyramid of Giza and shit. That's like some really epic shit. So, and she over the next 3 days was channeling this book, and he had to write it all down. And it was from this being named Iwas, and he's supposed to look like this gray alien with like human eyes with a big ass head and shit. And basically, the understanding is that the being was really Aleister Crowley's highest intelligence. It was him in a higher intelligence. What we call holy guardian angel, or what the Christians would call the Christ consciousness. Okay, the elevated, the superhuman, the Superman. Okay, the Christ conscious within, the illuminated man and shit, operating from a higher position of conscious state. As well as communicating to itself on a lower conscious level, which is a pretty fucking fascinating idea. All right, so he institutes the book of the law as the religion of the OTO, and he designs this ritual mass around it. It's this center ritual we call the Gnostic Mass. Okay, and it is our center ritual. And if you have a OTO body in your neck of the woods in your area, you're more than free to contact them and go attend a Gnostic Mass. It's open to the public. It's not like they're keeping secrets and shit. There are private masses, which are usually for practice for new deacons, new priests and stuff, new priestesses and stuff, new children and stuff, and so he starts to rewrite the fucking initiatory degrees and shit, right? And he incorporates, Golden Dawn ritual magic, ceremonial magic within the degrees itself. He also incorporates, which is already kind of part of it, was the Rosicrucian, because some of the earlier members were Rosicrucians. I think Carl Kellner, Richard, or Theodore was like, almost like he's saying Richard. Theodore Roos was Rosicrucians as well as Illuminati as well, or some of the members was Illuminati. So in the degrees you're gonna find the system of the Illuminati, the system of the Freemasons, the system of the Golden Dawn, as well as the system of the Rosicrucians. So the elements are like this: degree work, oaths, and initiatory ceremony elements of the Freemasons. Like their simple 3-degree system is found in the OTO's first, the 3 degrees, the first 3 degrees, and also like the idea of the triads, which is there's 3 of them. and then the Golden Dawn's ritual, ceremonial magic, rituals stuff, the dramatizations and their outfits and shit like that. And that's like in you'll see that in the Gnostic Mass and shit, you know. Also, the Illuminati symbol degrees, some of the other things in the Illuminati that they had in their degrees, and the way they did their initiations, even some of the names of some of the initiations is also parallel from the Illuminati. I'm talking about the Bavarian Illuminati, which is also from Germany, Adam Weishaupt. And then you also have the Rosicrucian symbolism that's contained within the OTO, and there's many other and you'll find if you ever fuck around with the Thelema and start investigating into, you're gonna find lots of elements of a lot of different religions that are at war with each other, which for me I think is a beautiful thing. Which it's like a fucking buffet of all religions and shit, and like no religion is held in higher standard than any other one, but are all viewed in equality. The greater mysteries and suggestions and symbolism of these religions. And we're talking about the main ones: Christianity, we're talking about Islam, we're talking about Judaism, we're talking about Taoist, Vedic, Buddhist, Jainists. All of them are contained within Thelema, which is kind of cool. So if you're a person who really likes, doesn't really vibe with the Christian concepts and shit, how it's used, but fucking fuck with some of the Christian concepts and their various applications, but like heavily like Buddhists and shit, Buddhism and stuff, and like Jainism, like the diets and stuff, and Tao and shit, like their moralic and conscious elements, and Vedic, like the astrology and the myths and shit, or Judaism, like the Kabbalah, or some of their books and some of the mysticism within the Jewish tradition or the Hebrew tradition, or even like the Islam with like a lot of their submission and a lot of their the way they observe the religion, which is really fucking beautiful, man. I think Islam is a very beautiful faith, just based on the amount of love and care it goes into like the ritual they do with like the salat and the wudu and all that shit, and the adorations is healthy, it's beautiful, and the idea of submission and piety is really dope, you know what I'm saying? But of course, Islamic extremism and shit is fucked up. Killing other people is fucked up. Hurting, maiming, controlling, manipulating other people is fucked up. Same as it is in Judaism, same as it is in Christianity, same as it is in the Vedics, and all the other religions that can produce people and thought processes that are aligned with chaos and enslavement of other people, and manipulation and judgment over other people that simply don't see things the way they do, which is fucking fucked up. It's horrible, So, and going back into so I'm gonna break down in the OTO how it's all set up in the different various not what's the best word, various parts of the OTO as an order. So the initiatory system is called the MMM, and I always fucking get this shit mixed up because of words and shit, And I'm sure if any of my fucking brethren watch this video, like, what the fuck, and Sabanu, what the fuck are you doing, brother? MMM stands for, and I'm just off the head, Mysteria Maxima Magica, or Mysteria Maxima Magica. I'm not gonna look in my fucking shit because I don't feel like getting up. And that's the initiatory system. Okay, so when you're going through any initiation, you're gonna go through, and I'm supposed to know this shit. That's the fucked up part. I'm still learning, so forgive me. It's the initiatory system of how the degrees are spread out in their 3 triads, and god damn, bro. So the first 0 degree is and the degrees are conveyed through symbolic ritual dramatizations and allegories. So there's actual dress out kind of fucking dramas that you kind of participate, like these plays that you participate in that convey certain messages and shit, you know what I'm saying? And that's for the initiate. And one of the reasons, I'm gonna say this, one of the reasons of keeping the oaths and not revealing what happens in initiation and the secrecy about these initiations and oaths is pretty much to protect the newcomer, man. So they're not gonna come in and have their fun spoiled, they have their experience spoiled and shit, like a fucking a spoiler on a movie. When you go see a movie that you've been waiting all week to see, and you go on Facebook and the motherfucker tells you what happens at the end, you're like, fuck. And you didn't even want to see that shit. You're wishing you hadn't seen that shit. So it kind of spoils the movie and shit. You know what I'm saying? So the first degree is actually called the 0 degree, and it's Minerval, and that's Illuminati, straight Illuminati. It's the Minerval degree was the first degree for the Illuminati, called the Minerval, and it stands for, Minerval is initiate, or also first like neophyte, but it also references Minerva, which is wisdom, which is represented as an owl or a lady with an owl and stuff, and like you're entering this path to wisdom, and like basically I can say, like, so the degrees are in the way they're designed is kind of to like portray and convey life itself, and what we go through in life compartmentalized into a single dramatization. So, and the candidate is asked to, or suggested to, after they go through the degree, to reflect on what the meanings of what happened in the degree, and to, read over the oath and read over, the cipher and all that stuff, to see what can be conveyed, and to come to understand it personally, on a personal level. And so the degrees for the initiate is a solo personal journey. So you have which is the man of earth triad, which consists of the 0 degree, which is when you're an honored guest. Okay, that means like you're welcome into, and there's an initiation, there is an oath, there is level of secrecy, but like you're not expected to be like, do certain things. You're not expected to attend, be active in your local body, which is begins the camp is the first level of a local body, and then once they grow to a certain status, they become an oasis, and then from there they become a lodge, and the lodge is like in stone and shit, what I'm saying, like the Masonic lodges and shit. So as a Minerval, you're just like, you're welcome to come around. You can attend private masses and shit. You can attend certain other Minerval initiations and shit, and it's pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's pretty fucking dope, and not many members really go past the Minerval, because once you take your first degree, is like, that's when they tell you you're fucking in this shit forever, motherfucker. And I'm gonna say it like that because it's fun doing that shit. It's fun, kind of like, a little allure, a little like, oh my God, what's gonna happen type shit, and that kind of gives it its luster. So for those people who are watching them taking the Minerval and joining and taking the Minerval and going through that process and then going to take their first, I do think it's fun to have a little mystery, a little like, oh my God, what the fuck's gonna happen? Because once it's all over, you're like, oh shit, that's it. That shit was fucking dope, nigga. And you're fucking like, nigga, like, it's like fucking dope. It opens your mind, it opens your heart. It opens like, you know what? And if you take it all in, and that's not no weird ass shit, but like if you take it all in and really experience the experience for the purpose of having the experience and stuff, like you really involve yourself in what's going on, it changes you. It opens your mind up, and you'll see the world differently. You'll see yourself differently. You're open up to different parts of yourself you didn't know existed, and it's fucking beautiful, And so, and there's like the second and third and fourth degree and shit, and it's the man of earth triad, which is a 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, God. And then, well, I'm a first degree, so forgive me if I'm not getting this shit right. And then you have the the lovers triad, and then you have the hermit. Look, I'm fucking up. I don't even care, right? There's 3 triads, right, man? Fuck. So 0 degree is Minerval, first degree is man and brother, second degree is magician, third degree is master magician, and you can see like the first degree, second degree, third degree is like apprentice, entered apprentice, the second degree would be like the fellow craft, the third degree would be like the master mason. So they're similar in many ways. I'm not a mason. I'm not taking any Masonic initiations, but I do know that, because I know enough about, I may or may not be in possession of some Masonic ciphers. You know what I'm saying? Which you ain't supposed to have this shit. I ain't gonna say who I got it from and shit, but I may or may not have got it from a certain individual, and I may or may not be in possession of these things and shit. I love this shit. This is fun, but like it is. Anyway, let me get back on track. But the degrees are, if you're a Mason, you'll notice that there's fucking Mason. There's like fucking almost parallel to Masonry and shit, and it's fun. I'm gonna say that the shit is fun. It's an experience, and when you take a degree, you'll realize how important, how dope the secrecy is and shit. You're like, man, like I don't. You know what? I'll say from my experience is like, before I joined and took my Minerval, and I was talking around people who were Minervals, and they would get to talk and they get to look at each other and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like they got an inside joke or something. They know something I don't know. It's kind of fun having that, like. And when I took my first degree, before I took my first degree, I was having a conversation with some higher degrees and shit, and it was a long conversation. We were smoking hookah and shit, chilling after we did our book club, and I was just going in. I was going in on the woke shit, you know what I'm saying? And I had said something, and they got to look at each other. I was like, what the fuck? And then after like the end of the conversation, they're like, hey, I'm excited for you in your first degree. You're like, you're gonna be a bright star. Like, you fucking figured out the first degree before you even took it. And I was like, what? He said, yeah, there's some things that you were talking about. I was like, I wanted to know what it was, but I didn't want to know because, I didn't. I didn't want to spoil the fucking fun and shit. And I was kind of like, I'll tell you this, it was pretty cool, man. It kind of let me know, like, man, you're kind of on this shit already. And I'm like, what other degrees do I already know the secrets to, and I just don't know I know it, which is fucking dope. And if you're watching this video and you're like, is that possible? There's many things you may already know that are going to be contained in degrees if you choose to join one of these orders and shit. And you're like, man, I've already been on this path. Like, okay. And it opens the sky up. And it doesn't seem so scary. It doesn't seem so fucking, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's a fun thing that I got to experience, man, because yeah, I did know that secret, and he was like, the individual's like, and after you take your first degree, when we meet up, I'll tell you what it was, see if you figured it out. And we had that conversation, and it felt really good. It felt really good to be aware of something I wasn't even aware of, and no, it wasn't evil. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't evil at all. It wasn't no badass shit, nothing. It was like I was plugged in. I was tapped into the source, and it's fucking dope. And like, I'm passionate about this shit. I love this shit, and it wasn't an easy road for me to get into the OTO, man. I'm a fucking convict. They don't accept convicts, so to me, it was an honor, and I do owe my path and my experiences to Alcoholics Anonymous. I really do. I can't fucking stress that enough, and so let me show you this, right? So above my Golden State Warrior, I'm from Monterey, the Bay, the other Bay, it's Carmel Bay. And so I got my Laman, and that right there, you can't have that unless you're first degree. So when I took my Minerval, bro, I couldn't wait to take my first because I wanted to be official. I had been denied from Masonic lodges and shit. And one of the cool things about Mason, they got fucking some dope ass regalia, some really nice trinkets and nice jewelry and shit. It's all fine and neat and stuff, At the same time, that's kind of one of the downsides of it is a lot of members end up joining just to get that shit, And when I found we had our own regalia, I was like, cool, this is dope because, yeah, I want to flash, bro. I want, and it's fucked up because nobody knows what the OTO is. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny like that, It's funny, but it's dope because OTO is relatively new. You know what I'm saying? It's like maybe 100-something years old, and that's a good thing because I'm part of something that's new. And in Las Vegas, our camp is a new camp, and we're doing our damnedest to grow to an oasis and shit, and I get to be a part of that growth. And let me say this, like the COVID-19, when people are like, oh, it's about the cabal and all this shit, these secret societies started COVID-19, like, From where I'm at, nah, because that shit stopped me from taking my second degree. That stopped all activities. The U.S. Grand Lodge sent an email like, look, y'all can't do shit until this is over, in protection of the people. Because you know what the truth is, like, secret societies don't mean you're fucking super fucking understanding of everything. You're still human. You're still on that path of evolution. You know, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical evolution of the soul and the construct. You know, so you're still going to process things as other humans. And there's a lot of people that are scared in the OTO and they're wearing masks and gloves and shit. And, you know, I don't do it and stuff. But out of respect to my brethren, I observe, you know, their fear. I'm like, okay, man, you know, I won't hug you, I won't this and that. But they stop all things. And I can't wait till shit picks back up because I want to take my second degree so bad, man. I've been told so many beautiful things about it. Like, they said, like, that's their favorite degree. It's like one of the best ones. And, like, I've been waiting, motherfucker. I've been waiting, but I'm patient. You know, I'm patient. You know what I'm saying? I'm using this time to do work, to do good work and stuff. You know, so going back to systems in the. Cause I went off on a sidebar. So and bear with me. And if you're gonna tune into this whole video, I thank you. Thank you, man. You know, I've been trying to make shorter videos for those who may not, you know, have the attention span that like of an hour long and shit. And plus, you know, I don't want me to do this video all of a sudden the fucking shit cuts out because I ran out of fucking memory and shit. I got all kind of fucking pictures and, you know, on my fucking camera. I need to figure out something better than just using my phone. So the MMM, Mysteria Maxima Magica, is the initiatory system. And then you have the EGC, which I'm going to get up and grab some things. The EGC is the church section of the Ordo Templi Orientis, where we conduct and hold our center ritual, which is the Gnostic Mass, and Thelema as is looked at as a religion. It is classified in America or in the world as a religion. However, it's not really a religion. It's more like a philosophy. It's more like a philosophical and moralic ideologies that are conveyed in even more in mystery and in symbolism and shit, which some of them, a lot of the symbolism is pretty fucking arcane and shit. And that's the work of Aleister Crowley, because he was a kind of dude that, you know, what he wanted to do. One of these things he didn't like about Christianity is that he didn't like the way that they used over the other people. So he used elements from their faith to scare people away that have dogmatic and superstitious mindsets that are really going to be fucking really anti towards somebody else that has a different style of life than them or has different likes or desires in them, you know. And especially, you know, like, because like Aleister Crowley was like, I guess he was like bisexual or whatever and stuff. You know, I'm straight, you know what I'm saying? I got a beautiful girlfriend and shit. I got a kid, you know. And so he wanted to make sure that people that are like kind of fundamental Christians or fundamental thought processors, people that have fundamental thought processes, wouldn't really fucking be, you know, too encouraged, too enthused to fuck with Thelema or join the OTO. And, you know, to me, it's, you know, I understand it. And of course, that's a lot of the fucking bad press that we get, you know, that makes us like literally the worst fucking sounding order out of all the orders, bro. Out of all of them, they give it. We get a fucking hell of a fucking ride and shit, you know. And yes, because of Crowley and shit. So the EGC, Ecclesia Gnostica Catholic. So if you research the OTO, you know, I would suggest you do a lot of research into it. If you're inquiring, like, I want to learn more about it. I'm hoping to convey in a way that it encourages, like, man, you don't want to learn more about it, because maybe if you tune into my channel or you fuck with me in the chat on other channels and stuff, then you might be a little bit more opened up to things I talk about and shit. And like, no, I'm not trying to manipulate people. This is purely suggestion, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully that I can carry a message that has depth and weight that may, like, you know what, this dude, Mental Ninja or Zach, he's a solid dude. And that I hope to convey that. I hope to be a solid dude. I hope to grow and to be a better man than the man I am today and shit. And it's not hard, it's not easy, you know, but it's easy, but it's not hard, however the fuck you want to put it, you know. and add to the stream of life and not take away. Okay, so if you want some things to look for to educate, Speech in the Silence is really good. Speech in the Silence is on YouTube. Also, what's the other one? Golden Lotus. There's another one. They have a bunch of lectures and shit. There's some other ones. But they'll have lectures. You can listen to it and shit. And you can hear other Thelemites that are higher degrees, been or longer than me, that are more have a more perfunctory understanding of it, you know, and listen to them and stuff. And I'm pretty sure, like, one of the ones that's good is called The Way of the Will. It's beautiful. It's a great fucking representation of what the Lima is as a philosophy and the OTO and what we do and shit. And some of the deeper symbolic meanings of moral development, ethical and moral development, and spiritual, emotional development, and mental development, and physical development, all that shit. So let me show you this. So the EGC is the other counterpart or aspect of the OTO, and this is an actual EGC pin that I have. You see Ordo, Templi, Orientis. You see Ecclesia Gnostica Catholica. That's what the EG stands for, and it means ecclesiastic, obviously. Gnostica means Gnostic, and Catholica means church. So it's the Gnostic Catholic Church. It's not really Catholic. It's not really a church. And it's not really religion. But the elements of it are considered Catholic, because we, in our Gnostic Mass, we do a Catholic styled dramatization, where we have Eucharist, where we have a priest, where we have the priestess also. We have a deacon, we have children, which, you know, like altar people, altar boys, you know, but they're not boys and girls, they're adults, you know, saying, of a certain age and stuff, you know. And we do have baptisms, we do have confirmations, we do have rites that are performed similar to the Catholic Church, and we use some verbatim Catholic Church performance verbiage that are used in some of their rites and shit, you know what I'm saying? So that's the church section of it. And yes, I have been baptized, and once you're baptized, you get to pick your own name, which is pretty cool. My name is Nsabanu. It's my magical name. So Nsabanu, I got it from X-Men, right? And it's the Apocalypse. The Apocalypse was the first mutant in X-Men Marvel, right? And his real name was Nsabanu. It's Arabic, and it means, it's basically the bearer of light, or the light bearer, or the dawn of light, or the light of day, you know what I'm saying? Which can be also translated into Lucifer, you know. And if you're in here, oh yeah, Lucifer, oh yeah, you know, nigga, it has nothing to do with fucking some evil shit, you know what I'm saying? It simply means the illuminated, or the bearer of light, or somebody who has light within them. Simple. You know, the sun, the Venus, whatever you want to correspond it to, has nothing to do with no evil Christian term, all right? Christians do not have, the Bible does not have the fucking market corner of what's good and what's evil. They simply promote what they feel is good and what they feel is evil, which may not be good and it may not be evil. Because killing people obviously ain't fucking good, but they use it in a way that sounds good. You know, stoning motherfuckers and fucking and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And hating on motherfuckers who don't agree with you. You know, who want to become Christ-like. Get hated on. And they get killed. They get fucking kind of like fulfill the fucking prophecy that says. Anyway, and then so there's MMM, there's the EGC, and I'm gonna forget some. There is the AA, which is the outer order. AA stands for Argentum Astrum, or Astrum Argentum, and it's like for those people who don't want to join the OTO and go through like an oath. They're like, I don't want to take no oath. I don't want to be held to no fucking secrecy. I don't want to be held to no fucking, you know, I don't want to go through a dramatized ritualization because I don't know what they're doing there, and I'm not cool with that. You know, I'm not doing anything if I don't know already what it is ahead of time. It's like, that kind of gets rid of anything that you're going to learn that's new. You know what I'm saying? You might not want to see this movie because you ain't seen it and you know what's going to happen, so don't go see it. You know, you might not want to, you know, go check out the new fucking casino because you don't know what's in it, and it could be something bad because obviously you don't know. So if you don't know it, that means it must be bad. That's some fucking superstitious. That's how superstitious and dogmatic people think. So the AA is a personal journey Similar to what's conveyed in the degrees of from the OTO and the MMM. However, it's like you're not keeping. There's no oath. It's like you go at your own speed. You'll be partnered up with like someone from your area that's an adept or whatever, and you'll go like almost like a sponsee, a Alcoholics Anonymous type deal where you have to read a bunch of shit and take like these tests and shit to see if you are perfuncting what you learned, and then you can go on to the next and the next like levels. It's like a school, like an outside school of OTO. All right, and so I feel like I left something out within the parts of the OTO, but I don't think I did. So yeah, and just to sum it all up, man, I have fun with the OTO. All right, you're gonna, you know what? And another thing too is that there are. Hold on a second, I'm getting cold. There are so the OTO admits men and women. You must be 21 years of age, of good report, meaning like you can't have felonies and shit. Even though I do, I'll talk about that maybe if I have time later on. You can't have felonies, and you have to believe in a higher power. It's simple, you know what I'm saying? You have to believe in a god or a deity or whatever and shit, you know. And that's just like another way. Now, it doesn't mean like, oh, you're gonna have a nigga worshiping the devil and shit, you know. We don't even really believe in the devil, like straight up, you know what I'm saying? And our idea of sin is to like willfully reject truth or anything that restricts you. The word sin is restriction, and not saying like killing people is stopping me from being who I need to be. No, I mean that anything that fucking stops me from accomplishing my true will and for me living a meaningful, purposeful life would be sin. Obviously alcohol is sin. Obviously drugs are sin. Obviously not paying my bills is sin, right? I don't get to keep my apartment and shit. Obviously not going to work would be sin. Obviously criminal activity would be sin because it inhibits me from doing the things I need to do, my freedom. Obviously not helping a newcomer in Alcoholics Anonymous is sin. Obviously not going to meetings is sin. Obviously, you know, not calling my sponsor on a regular basis would be sin, because it stops me from accomplishing the things I need to accomplish if I think that's what I need to accomplish. So that's like an aspect of how we look at sin. So for a truther or a flat earther, not investigating would be considered sin for you, you know. And I'm not telling you, but in consideration. So yeah, I am a felon. I'm a felon. I'm in the OTO. It wasn't easy. I had to, you know, when this is what I want to tell you guys, is that if you are thinking about joining Freemasonry or joining the OTO or Rosicrucians or Memphis Mike Wrights and Mizram or Eastern Star or Golden Dawn or whatever the various different fraternities there are and sorority, you know, international fraternal organizations. First things I would suggest is that do your research on them. Find out if they have charters. Find out if they have a fucking lineage. That you can trace their lineage back to like a Grand Lodge, that there is a structure that's not like some fucking Ponzi scheme like you see on Facebook or Instagram, join the Illuminati and get rich and shit with a bunch of niggas and shit with crowns and shit and fucking boatloads of money and stuff and rappers and stuff, you know. You want to be a part of something that's going to be have some kind of structure in it, you know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about your own growth, and you know, you don't want to be, you know, talking about being misled in a fucking fake order or what we call clandestine, which is illegal, operating without charters, operating without fucking a home body or a governing body to make sure the shit goes down with some kind of accountability. Or what's the other word that we use? Cowans is like somebody who pretends that they're some part of one of these orders and shit, really are not. Or irregular, which is like they don't have the necessary credentials to be viewed under a governing body as legit. And I would say like you don't want to be buying Jordans from a motherfucker who's selling fake Jordans. straight up like that. You want it to be okay. This came from the Jordan factory or whatever. It has actual official Jordan stuff on it. It was made by the Jordan company, not fucking by at some fucking flea market by whoever. Okay, same when you buy gold. You want to make sure it's real gold, not that fake shit, not that metal plated shit. You know what I'm saying? That they've made better gold that's fake gold, but looks more like real gold. You want to make sure it's not cubic zirconias and stuff. That's what I'm talking about, okay? It's no order is going to ask you to pay like $500 up front to take your initiation. An order is going to have like a certain amount of dues you have to pay on a yearly level, and certain maybe monthly dues or whatever to keep yourself in good standing. And that really goes to make sure that they are able to operate. Pay the light bill and shit. And papers and stuff like that, and like nice little medallions and shit, like rings and shit. So you want to make sure that you meet these people. You reach out to them. You do your research on their lineage and their credentials and stuff. You want to make sure that they may be a good fit and be a real order for one, if that's what you're looking for and stuff. None of this fucking pay online. We'll send you a degree after you take this test. And you'll never meet nobody. And you got to give us read this book, and you can give us a bunch of money. You want to be able to have a chance to meet the people. You want to sit down with them, go get to know them, attend a couple of their functions and shit, to feel like see if these are the kind of people you want to be fucking with. Because if there's some motherfuckers, I'm gonna tell you, like, there's a bad apple in every bunch. There's gonna be people that's gonna fucking like not like you and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's not more about the order accepting you. It's about you accepting the order, because it's gonna be a lifelong deal for you. You know what I'm saying? If you decide to go like an OTO, pass your 0 degree and shit, and you want to make sure it's something that you want to be with. Like, you want to make sure the chick you marry is gonna be a woman that you want to be with the rest of your life, straight up. That's an oath. That's an oath. The Pledge of Allegiance is an oath. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that you want to make sure you're gonna fully engage yourself in and accomplish, to the best of your ability. And some people get certain degrees and they stop going through degrees, but still are participating and stuff. Some people take a couple degrees and they didn't think it was what they thought it would be, and they bounce, or they dim it, whatever, so. And that's what I would tell anybody that's going to do anything, like, to do your research, so you don't get taken advantage of by fake people and trying to take advantage and manipulate people. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's pretty much what I say. So, like, yeah, I have felonies. I got blackballed from Masonic Lodges because of my felonies, and which kind of like, I was like, man, making good men better, y'all. I'm fucking sober. I'm changing my life, but you won't accept me because of my paperwork, which I at the same time, as an alcoholic, I understand, because I need to clear up the records of my past, which is part of what alcoholics do in AAs. Like, we fucking make amends. We go out there and fix things that we did wrong and shit. And getting my record clean would probably be something that I will want to have, because I want to have my firearm right back. I want to have my right to fucking have better jobs, because I have a child, and literally he can only get the level he can only live the level of life that I can provide for him. If I can't provide certain, if I can't get into certain aspects of society, like better jobs that have higher pay, that my felonies bar me from, this is probably important that I get that shit taken care of, which I'm on that process. But there's loopholes and there's time requirements that I have to observe until laws change. But I'm willing, okay, and. So the OTO, I met with them, hang out with them a couple of times, and I thought it was something I liked. The people I met were cool, were really cool, And of course, the OTO does have a considerable amount of people that are LGBTQ and stuff, but and there's also a lot of families, a lot of couples, a lot of single people, a lot of straight people. So I didn't let that deter me from what another person's sexual preferences or whatever or desires. It has nothing to do with me, period. Even when a motherfucker a motherfucker try to hit on me and shit in the OTO or out of the OTO, I'm just like, all right, nigga, straight, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? You nigga or a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I make sure I don't let that shit be a deterrent and stop me from being able to accomplish my goals in life and stuff, because in my job I got people that are LGBTQ that work with me and stuff, and like, I'm not gonna shit on them and like quit my job because of their desires or their preferences and stuff. I'm there to make money and be a service to my employer and support my lifestyle and pay bills and support my son in my recovery. So there's plenty of people in AA that are LGBTQ, and I'm not against them. That's that they whether they're both folks. That's cool with me, And I don't enforce my life, my preferences over them, and I'll hope that they don't force it on me when it comes to be like that. I was like, hey, bro, look, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one thing I want to say too, because like you're gonna be encountering that shit, and I know I've met Masons that are gay too. It's like, so that's cool. It's good for you, not for me. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers who like fucking eat radishes. I don't like radishes. You know what I'm saying? I don't like fucking 500cc bikes or 600cc bikes. I don't even like 750s. That'd be 1,000 or up, or 1,000. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I look at it. That's me. All right, so I ended up fucking coming around. Told him up front about that I have a record. Told him up front that I'm in AA, and it's funny because they kept thinking I was talking about Ashton Argento. I'm like, nah, Alcoholics Anonymous. Like, oh. One of the things is like, because Aleister Crowley was a drug addict, a bad one, you know what I'm saying? I think he didn't die because of it. He died because of syphilis from his teeth, but I don't believe that his heroin addiction really helped him that much towards the end. For him, it was divisive. It was important for his path. However, that's not, I already been through that path and shit. I'm on the other side of that shit now. And it does attract a lot of people that, are drug users or that do special effects, and it works for them. It doesn't work for me. So I came around, met everybody and stuff, and started coming around to more things. And I was talking about like I want to petition and stuff, and really I didn't know if I was gonna get in or not. I wanted to try because like I was hell bent on joining a secret society after I did enough research to figure out that that it wasn't gonna be a bad thing. And I know a member of Alcoholics Anonymous at that time that's known me for a couple of years. That's a Mason, and he's a good man, and he always had my back. And I would always bounce ideas off about this order or that order. He's like, oh, that's bullshit, that's fake, don't fuck with it. No, you don't want to do with that. And that's a good one. I told him about OT. I was like, oh, they're real. And he told me a little bit about them. He told me to do some more research. I did, and eventually got in contact with them. And they're like, yeah, well, they like me. They had the body master at the time, and his one of his officers like, yeah, we like you, so we'll get your petition. You can fill it out. You can pay your initial dues, and we'll send it off. And you can put the nature of your crimes and what your felonies are about, and we'll go from there. And I did that, and it's a little bit of a longer story because it was about an 8-month, almost to a year process. I ended up stopped coming around because one of the members of the order had said something to me that I wasn't cool with, and I wasn't cool with that shit. So I stopped coming around. I'm like, I ain't trying to fuck with niggas like that, on some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, they were going through a body master switch, and the old body master contacted me. He's like, hey man, we still have your petition. Your dues are still good. Do you want to continue with the actual petition? And at that point, I was kind of like on the fence. I hadn't been in contact. I came around a few months and stuff. And so I had to fucking do some more research. And one of my fears was like, are they going to steal my soul? That was a big one. Am I going to be having to kiss a fucking goat's ass or fucking suck a goat's dick or some crazy ass shit, or fuck a goat in the ass or some crazy ass shit like that, right? And so I did some more research, and thank God, like the eldest member of our order, a man by the name of Lon Milo DeCat, who I would encourage you to YouTube, and he's an awesome dude, man. He has a great way of explaining, what we do and what the Lehman OTO is in a really, really, really positive, humorous, and informative way. Really, really good. This dude has done his research. He's a high degree, oldest member of the order and stuff. And so I listened to one of his little podcasts, and he's talking about being afraid of something. Like, if you're afraid of something, don't even fuck with it. Don't even do it, because your fear is going to stop you from succeeding. And I was like, wow. And then he wants to talk about, the whole Aleister Crowley thing, because that was a big thing too, like Aleister Crowley and the Beast, 666, and all that shit, and Babylon. I was like, I was heavily polarized still. There were still residual effects of Christendom in my mind that still affected the way I made decisions, the way I perceived the world. And he basically said, like, Crowley said that shit to scare people, because he didn't feel like if you were able to be scared, if you could be offended by that shit, you shouldn't be coming around this shit, because, what we're teaching here is high science. And if you're coming here with a poison perspective based on like some really, really polarized and really judgmental theological beliefs, we don't want you around. And you know what? And I was like, oh, I make that makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. Like in AA, like if you're not sold on this shit, what's in this book, then go try some controlled drinking. Step to your nearest bar, order a beer, drink half it, put it down, and walk away. And if you can do that, then our hats are off to you. But if not, you find you may not be able to control the amount you drink. You may be one of us, and we actually come back if you're able to. And that's the kind of same message I caught. Already being sober. And I remember like the hardest thing I ever did in my life was get sober. There was there was nothing in the OTO as the offer so far that was more difficult than me making a decision not to use no more, to go to West Care. That was, man, I didn't know what the fuck. I didn't have a clue I'd be living my life that I'm living today, man, with an iPhone 10 doing this shit. Now here I am, so I ended up after that. I was like, cool. Reached out to my brother as a Mason. I told him my thoughts and stuff. And another brother that was at the time also we used to be scared talking about we don't need no masters, blah, 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 blah. We had his fucking shit fucking backwards. And he ended up taking his entered apprentice in Masonic Lodge. He was like, bro, it's beautiful. Go through with it, man. I want to be able to have conversations with you and stuff on some other things, even though we can't like have intercourse, which means conversations about certain degrees shit, certain, but have on the level conversations between the two brothers that are initiating to a mystery school or order. And so I end up contacting the body master, said, yeah, I'm down, I'm ready. So came out to the new temple that we had, which is fucking beautiful. It was so beautiful. It was all mystical. It was a separate space because the old one was in the backyard of somebody's house. It was kind of like, what the fuck is this shit? This was a real beautiful fucking temple. And met the new body master. Hold on. Met the new body master and was a woman and really nice girl and shit, I told her like, yeah, I'm ready to do this shit. She's like, all right. So she said, all we want you to do, we still need some information. The Grand Lodge wrote back and said, we need some more information about the nature of exactly what happened in your crimes and stuff, your felonies. So I'm not sure if they had my whole, PSI, my PSI report, my background that had the nature of the crimes, what happened, and all that other information from the courts. But I didn't want to tell any lies. I told them exactly what happened in every felony I had, which is 4 of them. 2 of them are the same felony they gave me 2 counts of, which I'm gonna go ahead and list them. But my first felony was attempted grand larceny here in Vegas. My second and third felony was sales, possession, delivery of marijuana in Florida, and my third was possession of a stolen debit card, also in Florida, and that was 2006, 2011, and 2015. And and I told them the truth, exactly what happened. I told them like, look, this is all because of drugs and alcohol, all of them. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, okay. I wrote the little fucking synopsis and sent it off. And it's funny because it was a waiting process, and basically if I got denied, they said no, then I had the option of waiting a certain amount of time and doing it again, you know what I'm saying? And she said, no matter what, don't give up, you know what I'm saying? And so I already been told by before that by Masonic Lodge they won't even go that far because they already know what's going to happen. Their charter prevents them from anybody with a felony, and the most worshipful of that lodge told me the reason was, and my brother that was from AA that's in that lodge told me, because it doesn't look good for them. It's like, that's kind of like, and you know what? I'm not against masonry and shit, but sometimes I can speak in a way it kind of sounds like it, and it's kind of like that's why a little bit, because it's kind of like limiting. It's not like all inclusive. It's not really giving people chances to get their lives together. But at the same time, going out in the world and observing the time and getting your shit together and getting your felonies taken care of then you can still come back and join. It's still okay, So the funny thing is that when I applied for this apartment. I'm like just under 2 years sober, right? I was like maybe 19, 20 months sober. And I was trying to get to an apartment because the sober living I was living at, I thought I was ready to move. And I applied for the apartment. They said I was good. I made enough money. I'd been at my job long enough and shit. My credit wasn't that, it was fucked up. It was better and shit. And they told me, hey, you're good. So just bring you the rest of the money and you can move in on the 1st. And so I came to bring them the money and they're like, oh, hey, we can't rent the apartment because you're felonies. I'm like, what? And I knew somebody in that apartment complex just got out of fucking prison for doing 5 years for some violent crime. And he got up in there. And it was that was a blow, man. Almost 2 years sobriety, changing my life, doing good, have a good job for a couple years, almost 2 years and shit. It was a blow. And the funny thing is, when she told me that shit, the moment she told me that I can't move in because of my felonies, my phone buzzed. And I looked at it, and it was the body master saying, great news, you were approved. And it was, for me in AA, that was God. That was all fucking God. It was my higher power saying, nigga, don't even trip, potato chip. You know, when one door closes, another one opens. Or maybe it wasn't even the door at all, it was just the wall. Think about that. And so, I mean, I was like, yes, right in there. Like, yes, and the lady like jumps, and she's like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, nothing, man, it's got to prove, you know, it's secret side. I was like, okay, well, thanks, bye. You know, so I left. I was so happy and shit. Called my sponsor, told him and shit. And eventually, you know, I scheduled to take my Minerva and shit, which was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience, man. I couldn't wait to go further and stuff. And I can't wait to go even further and stuff, man. And I've had a great experience in the OTO. I've had a great experience being part of a secret society. And yeah, I do get the, man, y'all be fucking goats. Shit, my coworkers be like, this nigga over there fucking goats. And it's funny, I laugh at them and shit, because it's not what happens and shit. You know, and what I want to convey is that if it's something that you're thinking about, I want to know the mysteries. I want to know the secrets and shit, and I'm learning them. And it's cool. It's making, you know what? For me, being in Alcoholics Anonymous and having that path, and then also incorporating AA or OTO and throwing me into it, I can say that I am a better person. The person that you like, that you hear with all these fucking nice, you know, cordial, fucking eloquent words and all my understanding, it's because of these things that's in my life. It's because I get to, but I tell you this, it's based on my sobriety. Your story might not be the same as me. You might be able to drink and smoke weed and pop a pill every now and then. I can't do that. But if you have the mindset, if you have that passion in your heart, I would say this is for you. And you have me as a person to like, hey, you can even comment in the video and be like, hey man, can I email you or whatever? Can I contact you through Facebook or whatever? And can we have a discussion? Because I'm thinking about it. Yes, of course. Even if you're like having difficulties and you think you might be alcoholic, fucking definitely. I'm here to help, man. I'm here to fucking encourage and to add to, remember. You know what I'm saying? To build with people, not to tear down, unless we're tearing down strongholds. But I can't tear down your strongholds. You're the initiate, you're the aspirant that must go through your own struggles, your own journey, your own hero's journey and shit, you know what I'm saying? And there may be things that are scary that you might not understand and shit, but you know, if you're courageous and you have that heroic mindset, you'll be good. You already made it to life. You already beat all the other sperm, which is also other versions of you, clones of you. You made it here. You've been through enough shit in your own life, and you're still here. So, you know, there's going to probably be more things, but you'll conquer them because you're more than just a conqueror and shit, you know? So, you know, I hope that this video can help. I hope that I'm able to, like, you know, give another side of, like, secret societies and their nature and shit. Just remember, though, that whatever your motive is, if it's a bad one, you're going to do bad shit. If you're like, I'm going to get rich, I want to become a rapper, or I want to fucking get the baddest bitch and shit, you might get the baddest bitch, and she might be fine as fuck, but bad as fuck, like not good. You know what I'm saying? Damaged goods or whatever. If you're like, you know what? I want to continue my path. I want to learn, and I'm armed with the higher power that I can do business with, and I have a faith that is unbreakable, and the highest faith that you could ever have is in yourself. The highest faith you can ever fucking have is in yourself. And if you have that, then I say you can go anywhere. You can join any society. You can go with any path and you will do good because your mind and your heart's in the right place. Emotionally, you'll develop to be in the right place, and you'll meet challenges that'll grow you. You know, the seed, as the inside of the seed, the bud or the pod or whatever, it's not like growing through the ground. Growing through the seed is like cracking this hard fucking shell. You know what I'm saying? Think of the acorn, think of the walnut, and it grows through that. You know, the tongue, what they call it. And then it has to grow through the dirt, all to get to the light. And that light that shines down is the growth of itself. Think about that. So the illumination is illuminating through yourself, through the physical prison, the material of yourself, to shine your inner light. And I'm gonna end with this, is every man and woman is a star, and I am a star in the company of other stars, and they're growing their light through the physicality. And let's say that in the sky, right there, that night sky, that physicality is the blackness of space that we're growing through, the material void, and we're shining our light through that. You know what I'm saying? So, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is a law, love under will, 93s. And that is our main mantra as in the Lima. And it doesn't mean do what the fuck ever you want. I mean, you're gonna do that shit anyway. But it means to find out what it is that you really want. What do you want out of life? I'm not talking about I want to be rich, if that's what you want, then go for it. But what do you want to do to get it? I'm not, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Are you willing to rob a bank? Or are you willing to fucking work hard? You know what I'm saying? And improve and grow your mind with concepts that'll generate the income and currency that you need. Are you willing to fucking go into the training and the proving grounds to hone your skills and hone your craft and spend long hours of practice, like Kobe early mornings in the gym, in the basketball gym, practicing shots, or Mike Bibby shooting 1,000 shots a day, or fucking Steph Curry with 2 basketballs on the fucking roof, throwing back ping pong balls or whatever and shit. You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to do what it takes to get what you want to get? And hopefully your heart wants to do it in an admirable way. If that's the case, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be excellent, man. But you're gonna have to go through the trials of life. As the sun goes through its trials in the zodiac, as the sun goes through its trials across the sky and shit, to be born at dawn of a new day, coming through that darkness of night and traveling over to reach its peak at 12 noon, where it's its highest and most heat, most heat is emanating from it, to be set, to be set on a path of death, of going down, and then only to rise again. That's what's conveyed in these mysteries and shit, But I'm sure you might already know that. So this might, and I hope to encourage good people that want to be better people to join these orders, because they fucking need people like you. For every fucking bad apple, we need a good one. You know what I'm saying? For every ghetto Jesus, there's a Judas Iscariot. Who are you going to play in this drama? You're either Jesus Christ or you're the nigga that wants to see him crucified. Who are you going to play in this drama? I hope to encourage people that are skilled in the art of building as well as destruction in a rightful manner, in a righteous manner and shit. You know what I'm saying? If you're a flat earther, cool, man, but how is that helping you better the world? Arguing motherfuckers ain't better than the world and shit. But bettering yourself, arguing with yourself, investigating yourself, challenging yourself, you change yourself, you change the world. You're the philosopher's stone, motherfucker. That's the secret of the philosopher's stone. But there's a greater secret than that secret. There is a stone that is not a stone. There is a stone that has a shape. There is a stone there is a stone that is not a stone, that has a shape that is not a shape. That's the secret to the philosopher's stone, and that's you. But there's more to it. And I bless you on your path. I bless you on your knowledge. May you be fruitful in your experiences and your wisdom. May you multiply these experiences and wisdoms, and may you have the power and the ability to go within and to conquer, to drum up that fucking conquer, that crown and conquering child, that heartstring that'll get you through the situation that may seem dark and dire. You know what I'm saying? That you may feel like you might not survive through, because I guarantee you are built for survival. You are built from survival. You're built to survive. You are built to accomplish all the things you want to accomplish, whether it be good or whether it be bad. It's up to you to accomplish that shit. I just feel that we don't have enough people doing good in this world. I feel like, yes, the labor is great, but the workers are few. The work is great, but the laborers are few. Are you willing to chop wood and carry water? Are you willing to be slapped in your right cheek and turn the other cheek and not lash out? Are you willing to carry the fucking military shit more than 1 mile? If they ask you to carry it 1, carry it 2. Are you willing to go to court and somebody sues you for your jacket, give me your hat and your fucking shoes too? Because those things can be replaced. If somebody slaps you in your right cheek, you turn the left cheek and they slap you again, you've experienced something. You've experienced patience. You've experienced reservation. You've learned how to not fucking do what's done to you onto others. If you don't want it done to you, don't do it back. If you don't like slavery, don't have slaves. Before I end, I'm going to tell you a little story. All right, I'm going to tell you 2 stories. I'm at an hour and a half. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette too. Some smoke, right? All right, so the first story is this guy, right? He say, man, look, I got slaves. I feed them, I clothe them, and I house them. When I first started, I had slaves. Let me say it right. When I began, I had slaves. I fed them, I clothed them, I housed them. Today, I have slaves. They feed themselves, they clothe themselves, and they house themselves. That is a fucking epic fucking little story. And of course you're like, oh, look, it's about slavery and about fucking being no. It's about knowledge. Before I was having slaves, today they are slaves of themselves. But in this situation, I'm free. Can you be free? Because your passions, you're a slave to. Can you be free of your passions to where your passions are passionate by themselves and you're no longer dictated by them? All right, and I'm gonna tell you this other story. So this guy's walking down the street and he's about to cross the street. And as he's crossing the street, he sees death, the angel of death, in the black cloak with the sickle, standing across the street, staring at him, right? So the dude stops. He's like, oh, fuck that shit. He turns the corner, goes out of the street, gets home, packs his shit, jumps in his car, and drives like fucking, jumps on his horse. He jumps on his horse and rides 3 fucking towns over, checks into a hotel, right? And as soon as he gets to the hotel, he goes, opens the door, and there's death, sitting on the chair like, damn, dog, didn't I see you earlier? Man, I was wondering how you was gonna get here. It's a funny story, right? Death is inevitable, right? We're all gonna die. We're all born. Think of it like this. If you're scared of a secret society or what they do in there, or the idea of taking an oath or initiations, think of this. You already took one. You were born here. You took the oath of death that it may come to you at one point in your life. When you were born here, you took the oath of life that it would come to you and you would be here. And now you go through the ritual dramatization of experiencing this life. And then you will go to the ritual dramatization of experiencing death. But I say to you, were you not dead before you were born? What happened before that? Think about these things, you know? Think about what it's like when you go to sleep and you wake up. And it was like you were dead. The same thing happened when you were born. The same thing happens when you wake up. The same thing happens when you die. The same thing happens when you go to sleep. It's a pause from being you. And life is a stage. The world is a stage. And you're an actor in it. But what part do you want to play? Whom do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And whom is the one asking the question? Think about that. You know, I wish you nothing but life. I wish nothing but love and prosperity and stuff, but that's a journey you have to accomplish on your own. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love is the will. Mental ninja, now I'm out, my niggas. Peace.